Hello, people. I am here today to introduce the internet to what is quite possibly my favorite thing on the internet, which is hilarious reviews of various topics. The thing we're going to be starting with today is an IMDb page. We're going to be reading one of his reviews. This is the legendary 8-year member. I am Jax Smirking Reeve, 905-307-235. And he has reviewed 3 Airbud movies. Perhaps the most prolific set of movies ever released. They are box office breakers. I mean, really, the ratings are through the roof. I think Rotten Tomatoes gave them 105%. Unprecedented. And who am I fucking kidding? They're Airbud movies. They are for children, but like with most children's movies, they have plenty of things adults can enjoy as well. And the main thing that this adult can enjoy is this guy's reviews of 3 of them. I wish he had reviewed all of them. I mean, they're masterpieces. But we'll be getting to that shortly. We'll be starting with Airbud 7th Inning Fetch here, released in 2002. You see Airbud there with the baseball hat. There's a raccoon. Everyone likes raccoons. And he left this review 12 years after this movie came out, in February of 2014. And let's get right into it. Whoops. I'd like to read the review, please. There we go. So, his review is titled Airbud 7th Inning Fetch. More like Airbud 4th Movie Plot Stretch. And he begins with a plot summary and his very thorough and unbiased review of Airbud 7th Inning Fetch. So let's get right into it. Josh was dead to begin with. There was no doubt whatever about that. Oh wait, he was just boarding the bus to college. Everyone from previous movies is on the bus with him, because Fernfield graduates don't have options, except Britta and Molly, who are totally gone. I assume they went to some fancy private school, leaving Josh and Co. to raise the puppies, who they distributed around the city. This devastated the Buddy family financially, and they were forced to move to a less spacious house and to trade the classic older guy attractive stepfather in for Al Borland. And they had a baby of their own. It's Kevin! He doesn't do anything in this movie, but boy am I glad to see him in preparation for the next movie. Andrea lives in a dirty clothes hamper. Did she have something going with Josh, and that's why she's so sad that she buries herself in his dirty undies? Gross. Are they steps or fools? Still, though, she remembers to say goodbye. So Buddy runs in front of the bus to college, knowing that when his bones crunch beneath the tires, it will stop. But it stops sooner than that, and they say goodbye, and Josh leaves forever. Now Andrea's the star, and she needs to figure out a sport to play for the spring for some reason, but is totally incompetent despite once being a decent soccer player coached by a real fake British person. She ends up on the co-ed baseball team because Tammy is a rock star on the field. She's the best shortstop I've ever seen, and that's why they make her catcher. Andrea rides the pipe pony, as usual, despite the team only having exactly enough players. Why is Andrea so bad? Because they never once practice. She sits on the bench for 3 games while Tammy makes headlines, literal headlines with full-color pictures on every single game. They never have a practice. Tammy gets hurt, so Andrea has to play. The downside of cutting your team number so close. Tammy is just bruised and out for 6 weeks. What a wimp. Andrea and Tammy fight about it until a dramatic confrontation between them at Tammy's front door. Well, it would be dramatic, except in the background the entire time is Tammy's toddler sibling, who is fascinated with something going on below their belt, and is hardcore busy with that. I can't believe we live in a world where they didn't think they needed to reshoot that scene. Did they? Was that the best take they got? Horrifying. So Andrea sucks. She loses 3 straight games for the team. Headlines blame her. Until she spends 20 minutes practicing with Buddy. Though don't be fooled, because they reuse the same shot of Buddy 40 times. It takes 15 attempts to catch fly balls and a dozen practice at-bats before she even becomes a decent player. It's outrageous that her coach never considered practice as a method of improving skills. Buddy also realized that he can catch balls flying at 100 miles per hour with his teeth and swing a bat by hilariously turning his head. It's incredible. It's the least appropriate sport for Buddy, and he's clearly not capable of it, but that does not stop them. In the meantime, the baddies, Chef Paul Prudhomme, want to kidnap the puppies to test their genetics to see why they're so good at sports. It's actually a pretty noble endeavor, and if they weren't operating out of a streamlined trailer, then the puppies would probably just donate some blood to discover that. Maybe they still would have if they ever even considered asking. It's so needless in the end, really. They drive a crappy car because they're poor. The crappy car ends up a plot point because it drives slow enough the 2 girls can ride their bikes after it. After they kidnap the puppies, the impotent sheriff of the town calls people by the wrong names, threatens to shoot random innocent people, and post posters. In short, he's worthless. Rocky Raccoon would have made a better sheriff. If he wasn't a baddie, that is. Rocky Raccoon. He's holding the rock. In the meantime, with Andrea kicking butt, the Timberwolves are going to be the championship. That losing streak, as usual, doesn't keep them out. I sure hope something doesn't occur so that Buddy is late to the game. There's still nothing in the rulebook that says a dog can't play baseball, though who can imagine that a dog would ever play a game that 100% requires hands? He is late. They save the kidnapped puppies through a mix of both breaking and entering. The dogs run away because they're dogs, and dogs have that ability. Very, very good runners. Andrea, Tammy, and Buddy are late, and nobody cares. Their families are at the game looking back and forth across the field, but never standing up or looking or anything. Everyone in town is at the game. All of the puppies' owners, all childless adults, seem obsessed with middle school intramural baseball. It's kind of terrifying. What are they even doing there? Maybe that's the only way to soothe their sadness about losing their dog/employees. One dog pumps gas. The coach barely even cares. They're playing a man down on the field, and the umpire, mailman, is not on their side, despite being obsessed with Buddy. Josh comes back after taking a taxi from college. I don't know where he goes to school, but I do know that since it isn't in Fernfield proper, that taxi ride probably cost over $60. Andrea would have preferred the money. He only makes it for the last inning, though. That's right. The only person later to the game than Buddy was Josh. Buddy arrives, and then promptly wins the game. Later, he plays in the final game in the World Series, or the whole game, for the Angels, a team completely unable to win without external help. A very big slight at Angels. Sorry for the Angels fans. But your team sucks. I don't know how else to say it. So this was the review of Air Bud 7th Inning Fetch by the best reviewer to ever live. I can only hope to get to his levels. I hope that you'll come back, where we're going to look at Air Bud Spikes Back next, because Air Bud 3 World Pup needs to be saved, for it's a gem. I hope you've enjoyed this video and this look into my very specific hobby of looking at online reviews. And I'll see you in the next one.